Rev up your engines!
You know, everything generally costs more than it used to. Here's something interesting. The 2025 Toyota Camry starts at $29,000, and that's like $5,000 cheaper than the previous year's hybrid version. The thing is, you can only get a Toyota Camry hybrid now. 2025, they're only going to be making hybrids. They're not going to make a normal one. The standard Camry they make is going to be a hybrid one, and that's $5,000 cheaper than the hybrid one in 2024. Unlike Elon Musk, who says, I'm going to make a $25,000 electric car, and then it turns out they're not, and he lies and says, I'm going to, you know. Oh, in the future, I will, right? Toyota actually does something about it. They're selling Camry hybrids for $5,000 less than they did last year. Hey, Toyota got into the hybrid business, and it looks like that's what's really paying off, because people don't want to mess with battery electric cars, range anxiety, all that stuff. You got no range anxiety with a hybrid Camry. For example, a 2025 Camry hybrid has a range of 625 miles. Range anxiety is not something to worry about, right? It gets the best gas mileage that it can, but it's not depending on an electric battery for your propulsion, where when it runs out of power, you're screwed, stuck in the middle of nowhere. I mean, who in their right mind is even going to be driving 625 miles without stopping to rest your butt and get something to eat and pee and whatever, right? So Toyota was smart with the hybrid design. This battery electric stuff, they're pushing it. Everybody's seeing it's a failure. Yeah, the government's still trying to throw that crap on us. People don't want it. It doesn't fit American society. Hey, you want to go to Europe and drive little cars around there? But even then, I just saw the sales of electric cars this year in Germany is 25% lower than last year. The sales are declining because even the Germans don't want electric cars, and they don't have that far to drive. Well, here we go with Ford and the crap they're making these days. They just recalled 450,000 vehicles because guess what? They got a problem with the battery system. 21 to 2024 Bronco Sports and 2022 to 23 Mavericks. And what do those vehicles have in common? They're all made in Mexico, the land of tequila and, hey, let's have a siesta, right? Well, listen to this. The body and power control modules on these vehicles may fail to detect a change in the battery state of charge, so you can lose all electrical power and even cause a loss of drive power, increasing the risk of a crash. Well, if that isn't the truth, you go down the road and your car stops running on the highway, right? They start making this stuff in Mexico, of course they're going to have problems. Any fool could have prophesized that. And here's their solution. The dealers will recalibrate the body control module and powertrain control module free of charge. People might smash their cars up because they don't realize they have this problem. And that's why I make these videos. As soon as I find out about these things, I tell you immediately. So as usual, horrible quality control with Ford, especially the ones they're building in Mexico. And like I say, if you don't want to get involved in all these problems, don't buy one of their products, and it won't affect you. Unless a Ford in front of you dies and you smash into it on the highway because it stops in the middle of the road when everybody else is going 70 miles an hour. Well, as usual, the hypocrisy of Elon is showing Tesla's cheaper $25,000 vehicle looks like it's being scrapped totally. Of course, all Elon says, we're robo-taxis, that's going to be the future, right? Well, we're putting a $25,000 EV on the back burner, right? And of course, Elon, after this report, he'll still denied it, even though the reports from the people inside are saying no. They're not going to be making anytime soon a $25,000 vehicle. Now, the lower than average EV was supposed to make for $25,000 was codenamed NV9. NV9 is currently being defunded, according to the people that work there. Of course, they're going to be anonymous because if he found out who it was, he'd fire them, right? He's probably searching right now like the secret police in his factories to figure out who told the truth about this stuff. Who told him we're not making a sub $25,000 car, right? And I mean, if he thinks he's going to fool people by saying robo-taxis, that's what I'm going to put my time. Years ago, he said there were going to be 1 million Tesla robo-taxis on the road by 2020. Okay, it's 2024 now. I haven't seen any, right? There aren't any out there. So, I mean, the guy just likes lying through his teeth while he counts his money, and any fool who gets involved with buying his products, hey, I gotta say, you've been warned. And then don't years later come back and say, oh, gee, I wish I wouldn't have bought that Tesla. Do a little research before you buy anything from that guy. Well, you know, Jeep was trying to say, can Stellantis owns, we're going to electrify everything. Oh, we're going to have an all-electric Wagoneer S and Recon EVs. Yeah. Now they say, oh, well, we're probably going to be putting gasoline and diesel engines in them, too. Give those versions, right? Jeep sold 333,000 less vehicles last year than they did the year before. They're grasping at straws and they're realizing electricity isn't the way to go. But even at it, I don't care if they're electric or gasoline. Get this. 25 Jeep Wagoneer S is expected to start at around 90 grand and go well over 100,000 bucks. Who do they think's going to be buying these things, right? I mean, they're living in this, well, we'll make these very expensive vehicles and we'll have a high profit margin, so that'll bring us, so we'll start selling more cars. And you'll sell even less cars the next year if you're trying to sell $100,000 cars to people, right? Yeah, there's a few fools out there who buy them, got more money than sense, don't care, right? But the vast majority of us aren't going to be paying 100 grand for some stupid Jeep. Come on now. It's just, these guys in Stellantis, they're living in another world. They're just living in a total another world. But at least they're coming down somewhat to reality, realizing we better not make all these $100,000 Jeeps electric because maybe no one's going to buy the stupid thing. So let's offer them with gasoline and diesel engines too. We'll see what happens. We'll see how many of these they sell. At that price, I guarantee they're not going to sell that many of them, right? And they're already hedging their bets. Well, they're not going to be all electric. We're going to put gasoline, diesel engines in them too, you know? Please, buy our $100,000 vehicles, you know? Jeff says, I got a question about a Harbor Freight scan tool. I'm a retired engineer, not a car guy. I got a 2018 Chevy Colorado. I went to Harbor Freight, and I chose their $159 tool. It seems helpful. What do you think? He's got a link, and the link goes to the Zurich ZR13S code reader, and it's a $159 code reader. I can tell by looking at it, it's made by another Chinese car tool manufacturer because it's exactly the same as some of the ones that I've tried out, right? Now, the thing is, $159 doesn't get you all that far with scan tools these days. It's an okay scan tool, and it might help you out in your ability to figure out you're an engineer, you got brains, right? But you never know until you try it on your vehicle. It's hit and miss with these cheaper scan tools, right? Sometimes they'll do all kinds of stuff. They say they'll take you to the moon and back. Of course, they won't take you to the moon and back. Sometimes they give you accurate data. Sometimes they don't. It's not a bad scan tool. Now, if it fixed your problem, great. That means it works on your GM vehicle and you're happy. For that kind of money, hey, the dealer charges $175 an hour to work on your car. You paid $159.99 for this tool. Why not? It could be a decent tool. Just never fall into, oh, look, I got this one that does everything. No. I have $6,000 scan tools, and they don't do everything, right? Something like that. It's not a bad scan tool, and if you like it, great. But realize, if you're an engineer, say you got friends and they want you to help them out, you'll probably find when you get to their cars, it doesn't do a bunch of stuff that it's supposed to do in the cars because it's just hit or miss with those things, whether they're going to work for one particular thing. I've seen them where they say, oh yeah, bleeds your ABS brake systems, no problem. You get in, it either doesn't even have the capability to do it, or you use it and it doesn't work and it doesn't bleed them. So don't expect too much from a tool at that price range. Well, I love reading these eco news things that people send. Well, here's one of their headlines I just have to laugh at. Farewell to metals in industry forever, the material that science fiction predicted, and it's just been produced. Well, they're just talking about a new type of nanotechnology, carbon nanotube stuff, right? Oh, we're not going to make steel. Come on now. This nano stuff has been out for a long time. It's been shown to be a failure in a whole bunch of things. Sometimes it's too brittle, or it pollutes like mad with these nanoparticles all over the place. You gotta listen to this nonsense these eco people are spouting out. The nanotechnology will allow the construction of more efficient infrastructure in terms of consumption and lighter in various applications, mitigating once and for all the environmental footprint associated with the manufacture of buildings and large architectural projects made with highly polluting materials like steel. What a load of horse manure. Yeah, they're going to be making skyscrapers out of these nanotubes sometime soon. I don't think so. And then they talk about pollution. It's been proven that this nanotechnology stuff can pollute like mad. The worst thing for us humans to breathe in are small particles that are going to cause lung cancer, right? They just live in this fantasy world. I guess they're all Elon Musk fanboys and they read too many science fiction books. Now, this new one, they have to give them a weird name. This new thing, they can't just call it carbon nanotubes because everybody's already sick sick of that. So the new material is called Galvorn. Galvorn could be implemented in industries like construction, automotive, and aviation due to its multiple inventions. Now, Russian science has been working on this nanotube stuff since 1952. So I think we're going to be having these Galvorn buildings or Galvorn-based cars anytime soon. You know, the eco boys are always telling us, oh, the future's just around the corner. No more pollution, no more baloney. We live in a real world, not the science fiction world. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.